Hey guys, and welcome to the video. I've been requested to make a video about how to make thumbnails for your YouTube channel, for YouTube. So, by the way, recently I made a video about recording with Bandicam, so remember, if you're doing screen recording, as you can see here, then remember to click hide here to hide this little bar, okay? So, first of all, let's look at the dimensions here. The canvas size I'm using for nice, pretty decent size thumbnails is 800 by 450, and that's about the right size. You can go larger, smaller, but that's what I kind of stick with. Next, I'm going to be going through about 6 steps. So number one is seeking out an image. So let's say you're doing a video off of Fallout, and you can either take a screenshot from the game, or if you're looking for images that fit your video theme, you can also find that online on Google. So let's say I'm doing some video about Fallout, and with the kind of the story circulates around the dog. I believe his name is Dog Meat. Remember, best to take out an image from your actual video. So number one is that the thumbnail that you use for your video, you want to make sure that people see that image or something very similar to it somewhere within your video. So do make sure that you put something relevant to the video. Don't just put something sexy or scary to attract attention and have a totally irrelevant video to that theme. You will get thumbs down on it. So first of all, make sure it's relevant. Next, pick out a thumbnail or design a thumbnail that is really sort of clear and simple. So let's say I pick this dog. I put that in Photoshop. A good way to test out if you picked a good thumbnail is to sort of zoom out and to see if you can, make it pretty small. To zoom out, I'm using a PC, so zoom out, you click and hold Alt in Photoshop, and then you roll your mouse button roller. Okay, so you zoom out and you want to make sure that even when it's small, you can kind of basically tell what it is. All right, so you can kind of tell it's a dog. Okay, so zoom in. That's pretty much number one. Make sure it's clear. People can spot your image quickly. And now number two, one of the first things that I always do, I took this tip from before, and I always do this. First of all, duplicate your thumbnail. So this is my image. Okay, I'm going to right click on it. I'm going to duplicate it. All right, there we go. Now this top duplicated one, I'm going to turn it off for now so I can see the bottom one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to mess with the vibrance. I want high colors. Okay, high colors in the video can really mess up your video, but high saturation in thumbnails is all about grabbing attention, guys. So I go to the image, make sure you can edit it. If you can't, for example, take the paintbrush, click on it. It says you can't work on it, so it has to rasterize the image. Say okay. Now you can. Okay, now you can make changes to it. So go back to your arrow. Let's go to image. I'm going to try to do this as fast as I can. I got 6 tips for you guys. So, first of all, I'm going to go to Vibrance. And Vibrance is a nice newer feature in Photoshop. It's kind of like saturation, but it's not as ugly. It's not as strong as saturation. So I'm going to take the Vibrance probably to maximum. Okay? Yeah, somewhere around there. Let's see. There. Okay. So here's the difference. All right? With Vibrance. If you take saturation up, see, it gets crazy. It gets too much. Some images, for fun, you can do that. You can do that. It'll attract attention. It still has your theme. No problem. I just want it to look like a good-looking, healthy image. So I'm going to higher the saturation a little bit too. See how much color that has? When you get used to looking at this, then you turn it off and you're like, wow, that was really dull at the start. So there you go. I added that. All right. The second part of step 1 is now the contrast. Now, by the way, for you guys that are experienced, another thing I like to mess around with is variations, shadows, highlights, levels that can pull out, for example, the dog's face more from the background and draw more attention to it. Of course, you can do that by cutting it out. So there's other cool features, but let's go to the basics here. So brightness and contrast, that's the next thing you're going to want to mess with. The contrast isn't too high. It is higher now with the vibrance and saturation. But look what happens. If I take the contrast up, look at that. That could actually be a pretty cool thumbnail right there if you put some text on it. It's crazy, but it's effective. You want effective thumbs. You don't want too much craziness. You want it to be effective. That's a different kind of contrast. If you turn off legacy, you have a more subtle type of contrast. Okay? So, let's see what it looks like. I mess with both and see what looks best. So let's try the legacy one. This is this one, right? That goes really powerful. But I'm going to go to, let's say here. Okay? So you want to look at the darkest areas. For example, here on his face, kind of on the ground, not really back at that tree. I want to turn that to black. I don't want it to be gray. I want it to be as black as possible. Once that's black as possible and the clouds are still white, well, the clouds get brighter as well with contrast. Look at the difference. You see that? You see how that pops? A lot of pop. Of course, you can higher the brightness. When you higher the brightness, you're going to want to higher the saturation, but then it's just going to get too bright and annoying. So let's go back to default. Let's go back to the beginning. To go back to the beginning, just click on Legacy, that box, reset everything. I'm going to click on Legacy again because that's what I want to use, and I'm going to heighten that a bit. Do I want to make the image a little brighter? I think I do. I'm going to heighten it to about 5 in brightness. And then I'm going to higher the contrast. Okay, so to about there. So again, look at that preview. See? Huge difference. Big difference, guys. Especially when you work close on images and art and digital stuff, you see the difference really fast. People that aren't used to it, their eye hasn't really, you guys don't catch that difference, but the more you work with this, you'll see it. So there we go. Already, look at that. Original image looked like this. Now we're at this point. Cool, huh? All right, so that's Vibrance, Contrast, Brightness. Now let's go to number 3. Tip number 3 is going to be the Highpass. This is one of the most important steps. This is very important for the clarity and the detail of your image. I do it always now. Always. Since I've learned about it, I always do it. So, okay, go to the top image that you have. Okay, the duplicate. It doesn't matter if your duplicate looks like this or not. You can duplicate it now, it doesn't matter. Now use that image and go to Filter, scroll. I'm sorry if I'm not clear about something. I'm just trying to do this as quick as possible while getting out as much information as I can. Alright, now click on the Highpass, under Other, Highpass. It will create this kind of grayscale image that pops kind of the detail. Now I scroll until I don't like this glow. Okay, this glow creates a whole different kind of appearance. I want to just push out all the details. So I take it down kind of to the low points until you see the grasses and stuff like that in the image, until you can really see those pop, but not too much to where there's a glow. You just want to see the details, but not too much of the glow. Okay, once that's set, click OK. Alright, now you're saved with that. Make sure this is on top of your colored image. Okay, this is on top. Now watch what happens. You're going to take this gray, okay, this Highpass. You're going to go here under layers, this scroll box. You're going to go to overlay. I do this on all my images now. Kidawa videos, whatever image I put up, I always create a Highpass. If I don't change colors, if I don't change contrast, I do the Highpass. So now, once you set it to overlay, what it has done is it applied it, but with all that detail. If you can't see, okay, watch this, watch this. I'm going to zoom, okay. I'm going to zoom in on my image now. So take a look at this. All right, look at the grass, for example, right there that I'm circling. If you can see my cursor, I hope so. I just changed my recording. So look at where I'm circling that grass. When I turn off the Highpass, look at it now. See how everything's kind of foggy and unclear? Highpass, look at that. Look at that. Look at the texture on the ground. No Highpass, now Highpass on. See that? Off, on. Off, on. Look at the hair on him, on the dog. It creates quite a difference. If you don't see it, you will eventually. The more you do this, the more you see things like this. You want more? You can double that Highpass. Let's double it. See, I just duplicated that layer. Look how clear everything looks now. Turn that off, turn that off. See that? There you go. Look at that. Look at that. I'm going to combine these two layers. Okay, look from a distance now. Look at that. Look how you don't see much of the dog's fur, for example, or its face or the grass. Look now, the Highpass on. There you go. Okay? Sorry I wasted so much time. I spent so much time on the Highpass, but it is crucial. Alright, especially since some thumbnails appear so small usually. Now, you want to make sure that these two layers, you don't want to change the image around anymore, because you want the Highpass layer to match with your dog. The original, image layer. By the way, if another tip, make sure your thumbnail is always filled up. It fills up the whole canvas, okay? Never start like this and then make your thumbnail. Always fill it up completely, okay? All right, big is good. Big and clear is good in your image. All right, let's go to number 3. No, that was number 3, Highpass detail. So number 4, let's go with adding text. For example, okay, let's say I want to add this text here. This is text that I use for my other channel, thumbnails. One thing that I always do with text is, okay, so one of the rules I follow for myself always, and you might want to add this or see how you feel about it, whether you bevel or not, mess with the text. To do that, you just double click on it here. Okay, it opens up this. See, my text has 1, 2, 3, 4 options on. If I turn off stroke, it's going to turn off the black lining around it. Color overlay, it's actually black. You can change your text colors here, by the way. So if I want my text to be green, I can change it right here, or let's make it red. So the main thing that I do with my text always, especially if it's on a brighter background as this one is I do a drop shadow. Drop shadow is very important. But I don't do a drop shadow going from a certain angle. What I always do, instead of keeping your distance up, you see when you put distance, the shadow goes to a certain area of the thumbnail. See that? I take my shadow distance to 0. That makes sure that the shadow goes around the text equally on every side. So it just creates a shadow. It's basically the light is going right from above the text, kind of. I like to higher my opacity on the text, on the shadow, so it's darker. And then here you can mess with the darkness and how far it spreads. So just mess around with these settings. If you want it really to pop like that, there you go. If you don't, or you just want to lower the opacity, you can do it here, or you can make that shadow shorter. Very important to make your text pop, or any other images or pictures, or like you want to put a star on there, or a smiley face, or a logo. You want to drop that shadow, but you don't want too much of it either. Okay, too much it's distracting and it takes the effect away. For example, like this. You can see the text. If you take away the drop shadow, look what happens. If you take away the black stroke, I also added this soft black stroke. Don't make strokes too thick. Strokes can make your text look very cheap. In the digital world, strokes are a little bit more accepted because they strike your eye. So see, without the stroke, now we add the stroke here. Black colored strokes, it outlines it. I add it at 1. If you can just add the stroke, that's fine too. But I have it at 1, and then I have the drop shadow that I just made darker. So actually, we don't even need that stroke really at this point. So there you go. That's how you add in text and you make it pop. If it's a black background, well, then you can do the opposite. Instead of dropping a shadow, you can drop some outer glow. That's right. See, some outer glow around it. And there you go. It'll pop against a black background. And you can mess with the settings right here. How bright do you want it? How far do you want it to reach? Okay, so that's all about adding text. Let's go to the next one. That was number 4. Let's go to number 5. Mix up the pics. Okay, so now you want your thumbnail to have some more character to it. You want it to look different than the other ones. You want it to show something about your channel that's just your channel. So, for example, add an image of yourself. Look through a video, okay, of you. I like to choose funny or silly or ridiculous faces that I make just to attract attention. You can, anything relevant to the theme of your story or just to catch, but make sure it's, something from the video. People also take extra photographs of themselves and add that in. That's cool too. I'm usually a little bit more lazy, so I just find an image of myself and I copy that out from a video. If you don't know how to do that, basically open the video. If you see something you like in it and you want to take the picture of it, on your keyboard there is a button that says PRT-SC on the upper right hand side, somewhere around there. So it's print screen, and click on that print screen button, sometimes a couple times. Go to Photoshop, go to edit, and go to paste. Okay, go to paste and you will put that picture in. Okay, so my picture's in here. I want to add my silly old face here. So first of all, I got that green screen around. I'm going to cut that out just so it's me and that dog. So let's see here. How do I do that? Easy. There's a tool here. There's a few ways to do it. Actually, you can select by color. There's different ways. I'm starting to like this tool lately. These tools here, and that's quick selection, magic wand. Let's try out the magic wand. I have it set at 10 tolerance. You click it. All right, that's a little bit too detailed. So I'm going to change the setting of that to 25. Let's see now. Okay, it's better. Let's set it to 50. Okay, see how it selected everything green around me? All right, so all that green stuff, now I just delete on my keyboard. Look at that. Isn't that easy? The black bar right here, I'm selecting that. Boom, delete. Delete on the keyboard. There's still a soft green glow, and you can do more deleting work to cut that out. But for the point of this recording, I'm just not going to worry about it for now. So there we go. We cut me out. And let's say there's still some at the top here. Let's cut that out real quick too. There you go. The black here. Cut that out. Okay, that bar, cut it out. There we go. And to deselect, remember, Control D on your keyboard to deselect. Okay, there we go. There I am. I'm a little bit overbearing with the dog. I'm going to shrink myself down over here to this corner. Yeah, somewhere like that. I can move the dog to the left a little bit, make a black background. A lot of stuff you can do. But there we go. Apply. If it asks you to apply, so you can do other stuff. Let's take care of that green again, that bar up top, and the gray bar. You know what? If there's little junk like this up here and you have to find it and click it, just take the eraser tool. See, I got the eraser. It's set at 100. Make sure you deselect, nothing selected. And now you just go over and nicely erase anything that bothers you. You can even erase the edges, clean it up, whatever you want to do. Cool. Okay, now we got me here. I can leave it like this, or I can do all this stuff I did to the dog before. So I'm going to duplicate. Let's not duplicate. I'm just going to, for example, heighten the vibrance on my face. See how my face is kind of grayed out and dull colored compared to the background? So let's higher the vibrance. Vibrance max. Saturation can go up. I can even make it look crazy like that, or keep it low. There we go. It's a little colorful. It's not the best image since it's off a video, but it'll work. Okay, so there we go. And then we can create another Highpass, just like we did the Highpass with the dog to increase the detail. I can do that here as well. Make sure the text is on top. Okay, now one more great little thing, just an extra tip if you got blemishes on your face. Remember, videos change, quality of videos vary, but thumbnails remain forever. So, you want to fix up some pimples you got on your face or some blemishes? Easy. Select your face again, go over here, take this spot healing brush tool. All of these can work in different ways, but just select that first one, make your circle kind of small like this. When you see a pimple or something, click on it, gone. Look at that. Look at that. We're cheating the world. We're cheating the world. No makeup, nothing. Okay? Just to make your thumbnail look a little better. Because once you increase that vibrance and saturation, little blemishes that you might have on your face that aren't normally visible, they will pop more. So you can just clean your face up a little bit fast like that. Okay? Especially if you got a scar or whatever. So that's basically it. And then finally I'll double click it on it over here and maybe create some drop shadow again. Remember, on drop shadow, I go here. I don't like distance. I don't like my shadow to come from a certain direction. I just like to make it drop right below me so that I can put it all around me. There we go. Just like that. Boom. It appears that there's some black bar still visible here somewhere. So I'm going to take the eraser and I'm going to erase that here. I'm going to erase whatever's out here. And it's all good. It's all good. And you know what else I'll do? Also, I'm going to put a stroke on my image. So I'm popping out, right? I got this shadow behind me, helps me pop. Now I'm also going to put some stroke around it just for fun that is the same colored as something bright in the environment. So I'll pick something brighter like the rock, or this, grab that color, maybe something a little bit more yellowish, like the dog's fur. There we go. And now I got this stroke on. I'm going to take it down so it's not so annoying. Boom, I got that stroke, makes it pop out nicely, and it matches the colors, so the color works. You got some mistake here, right? So just erase that, erase anything on the bottom you don't want. Boom, there's your thumbnail. All right, so that was mixing up pictures. You can take a photograph, you can take a photo from your video, and then we go to logo. Logo in Unity. So finally, I haven't been applying to too many videos lately, but I'm thinking about it. For example, on my Kidawa channel, I have this that appears on my thumbnails on all of them. So if you have some logo, you can put it over in some corner, something like that. On my monster channel, I'm putting this little writing on every single thumbnail to kind of make it stick out. So play around with it, make sure your channel has a good reputation, and then add something small. You can even add a border around the whole thumbnail that's like green or black or red, just so people see that it's one of your videos, that it comes from your channel. It lets people spot your videos faster among many, maybe hundreds of other videos, or 10 of videos that they're looking at, the thumbnails. Maybe once they see one with your logo on it, they're like, I know that guy, I'm going to check that one out. So that's why you want to do that. Nothing too big. You still want to keep a nice image. So for example, like this, I like to keep it small like this, maybe even bigger. Okay, maybe like that. But that's it, because I still like the whole image. I like the way it looks. This is the main point, and that's just kind of to let people know it's yours, your little stamp over there. So don't make it too big, too powerful. It depends. It depends on the theme of your channel and all that stuff. So that's another thing, that Unity branding your channel, putting it all together. And that's number 6, and that's the final tip. If you guys want to check out some thumbnails, some more worked on thumbnail examples, nice examples that I have, check out my World of Monsters channel. And over there, pretty much all my thumbnails I put more effort kind of into, more than generally the thumbnails you see on this channel, other than maybe the gaming ones, something like that, because I wanted them to represent specific things here. But on the Monster channel, they're just more striking, more vibrant, cooler images. So for some examples, go check that place out. Mess around with your settings. For example, here's my text that I use all over the place, you guys know. Just simple text. I just messed around with it, gave it some extra effects like color overlay to make it look gold. This. Okay, without that it would look like that. So with the additional effects, it has this cool gold look. So play around. Whatever other tutorial you want me to make, let me know. I hope this wasn't too long, but I hoped it really did help you. And if you have any questions or suggestions how to make my thumbnails even better, let me know down below. One more thing you might want to add as a final thought is this kind of shadow within your image to kind of add in seriousness for your video. So see what the thumbnail looks like now. You can also add this in, and it kind of creates a darkness around your thumbnail. But with thumbnails, it's not that useful because you actually want them to remain bright and pop. But to know how to do that, if you want to know how to make this, just keep watching. I'll do it real quick within, 2 minutes. Okay, watch. You make a new layer by selecting this square. Okay, now you click on the paint bucket. You choose black, fill up the thumbnail with black. Now take the selection tool, choose, for example, the rectangle, click over here, click feather 50, and now select somewhere within, make a rectangle, leave a thick border around. Now do that. Now click delete on your keyboard, and boom, you have this effect of this darkening around. Now click deselect, so Control D to unselect. And now you can go to the opacity here of that layer, lower it, okay, if you don't want it, higher it, or go here and give it some cool effects. See if you can come up with something cool with that. See? All right, that's it, guys. So let's say I'm done with my thumbnail. I'm going to keep it like this. So now you go to save for web, in devices. Okay, I'm gonna save it as a JPEG, full quality, optimized, full size, and I just click save and upload that to your video. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you would like to see next. Goodbye.